count the ballot because someone made a mistake and not dotting the correct I. Who they voted for, testify, say who they voted for, say it's you. That is totally legitimate.
All right.
I have a final
swamping the system. You know it can't be done. You know it can't. And already.
All right. So now the bail service to members of the gentlemen. Final question is, in 8 states, we can keep talking. In 8 states, election workers are prohibited, currently by law, 8 states, from even beginning to process ballots, even take them out of the envelopes and flatten them until election day. That means that it's likely, because there's going to be a huge increase in mail-in balloting, that we are not going to know on election night who the winner is, that it could be days, it could be weeks, until we find out who the new president
Well, we count every fucking vote that was submitted, and then we get our president.
President, I hope neither of you will interrupt the other.
It's tedious work, but it has to be done, boys. It's just like a stream. You gotta fucking put in work. It's not just, you're not just gonna get followers just because you got a stream. Nah, you're gonna get followers because you put in the work, you put in time to fucking make move clips, montages, breakdowns, you know, walkthroughs, gameplays and shit like that. It's not just gonna appear out of your ass and be like, oh yeah, we fucking did it. You have a stream and now you're successful. Nah, you gotta fucking put in the work, yo. And that's what America's about. I'm running for fucking 2021, boys. Vote for me, everyone.
Thrown out. They weren't allowed to watch. You know why? Because bad things happen in Philadelphia. Bad things. And I am urging my people. I hope it's going to be a fair election. If it's a fair election, I am 100% on board. But if I see tens of thousands of ballots being manipulated, I can't.
Oh fuck! I was supposed to do the supply run on shit.
I'll tell you what it means. It means you have a fraudulent election. You said you got 80 million ballots. They're not equipped to. These people aren't equipped to handle it. Number one. Number two, they cheat. They cheat. Hey, they found ballots in a waste paper basket 3 days ago, and they all had the name military ballots. They were military. They all had the name Trump on them.
Vice President Biden, Vice President Biden, final question for you. Will you urge your supporters to stay calm while the vote is counted, and will you pledge not to declare victory until the election is independently certified?
Of course he won't. He's a fucking fool. Oh,
count the ballots, as you pointed out. Some of these ballots in some states can't even be opened until election day. And if there's thousands of ballots, it's going to take time to do it. And by the way, our military, they've been voting by ballots since the end of the Civil War, in effect. And that's what's going to happen.
Fuck, for real? Since the end of the Civil War?
For them, somehow not fraudulent.
That's cool.
It's the same process. It's honest. No one has established at all that there is fraud related to mail-in ballots. That somehow it's a fraudulent process. It's already been established.
Take a look at Carolyn Maloney's
You had an opportunity to respond. Go ahead.
They have no idea what
Vice
happened.
President Biden, go ahead.
He has no idea what he's talking about. Here's the deal. The fact is, I will accept it, and he will too. You know why? Because once
I do have ghost gun?
after all the ballots are counted, all the votes are counted, that'll be the end of it. That'll be the end of it. And if it's me, in fact, fine. If it's not me, I'll support the outcome. And I'll be a president not just for the Democrats. I'll be a president for Democrats and Republicans. And
there you go.
I want to say honest ballot count.
Gentlemen, we can say that's the end of this. This is the end of this debate.
Honest ballot count.
We're going to leave it there. To be continued as in more debates as we go on. President Trump, Vice President Biden, it's been an interesting hour and a half. I want to thank you both for participating in the first of 3 debates that you have agreed to engage in. We want to thank Case Western Reserve University and the Cleveland Clinic for hosting this event. The next debate, sponsored by the Commission on Presidential Debates, will be 1 week from tomorrow, October 7th, at the University of Utah in Salt Lake City. The 2 vice presidential nominees, Vice President Mike Pence and Senator Kamala Harris, will debate at 9 p.m. Eastern that night. We hope you watch. Until then, thank you.
Fucking. Ah, you bitch!
Thus, the first presidential debate of 2020 concludes a night of chaos.
I knew it wasn't at fucking 9. Fucking Eastern time, you suck. And that's like the first 30 minutes of it.
Former Vice President of the United States said of the president, "You are the worst president America has ever had." Biden appeared to become prepared.
It doesn't make any sense.
While the debate's going
I could ask my son a question and get fucking a better answer than Trump would.
is cratering, and we
But,
have
I mean,
ongoing racial.
like I said, I mean, Republican might be the way, Republic Party might be the way.
When the stakes were that
I'm
high, the debate
just now getting into politics.
it was not
I'm gonna do more homework and fucking try to fucking follow up with shit.
who has a duty and
Definitely gonna watch the next debate. Hopefully you guys do. I did my census last week. Hope you guys did. The census is a very important thing that helps fund
time when America does
certain states and shit for schools, street pavements and shit like that.
these two
So
to take the
I definitely recommend fucking giving 10 minutes of your time. There's nothing crazy. It's all confidential. It's not like fucking this shit gets reported to Trump.
Tonight about who
You probably couldn't even read it, but
tonight we are going to have more analysis. We're going to
así es la machaca. We gotta vote. It's our American duty, guys.
I want to bring in now CBS's Major Garrett, who was
All these men and women die for the service of our country, and
Not all the claims.
we don't even do the basic things, you know?
Itself was crosstalk on stage tonight. Yes, we would rate that as true.
Fucking Goon, hurry up. I'm gonna play another game without you, Goon.
Made during the debate.
Taking forever.
First fact check. This came early in the debate. Former Vice President Biden said that 100 million Americans have pre-existing conditions. We rate that as partially true, and here's why. In 2017, this would be the Trump administration's Department of Health and Human Services released a study, and it found that 23% to 51% of non-elderly Americans, meaning those under the age of 65, or 61 million to 133 million Americans have pre-existing conditions. That's why we rate that claim as partially true. Also, during
Partially true? Get the fuck out of here, you fucking-
COVID-19, the president said younger people aren't vulnerable about this, meaning vulnerable in exposure to COVID-19. The American Academy of Pediatrics has said, yes, in fact, incidence rate is low, hospitalizations and death are low, but there is still
Exactly.
incidence rates, transmissibility has been confirmed, and so we rate that as misleading, that the president contending that children
Okay.
simply aren't vulnerable.
So this is a neutral fucking party, alright?
The third one we have, Nora and team, is the president asserted that during the Obama-Biden administration, it presided over the slowest economic recovery since 1929. We rate that as false. Economists will differ on all sorts of things when it comes to economic numbers, but it is
Well, yeah, there's fucking too many numbers to
the
run.
slowest recovery from a recession was after the 2001 dot-com bubble burst. And
The fuck?
that
2001.com games, man?
the Great Recession, while slow and by historic standards not nearly as great as recoveries from deep recessions, it was not the slowest recovery since 1929, which is why we rate it as false.
Major, I have to just also, after all that fact checking, though, get your take.
I'm a helicopter. Ah,
So, to your point, Nora, the president
it's
clearly
full of shit.
to do everything he could to get Joe Biden, the former vice president, either off his game or distracted by his mere presence.
Yep.
And I was in contact with Biden debate prep specialists, and they said the big challenge for the former vice president was to not take that, was to stay on point. He tried the best he could, but he also got
He fucking fucked up a little bit. He didn't sound too confident there. Joe Biden, you need to work on your fucking speech.
Thank you. We are joined now by the president's son, Donald Trump Jr. from.
Oh, fuck that guy.
And Don, thank you so much for joining us. We've witnessed the national polls for the last several months with Joe Biden ahead by double digits. We see in Ohio now that Joe Biden closing in
That's how
on
Biden ahead?
Number one handling. Was
Maybe
that
we can make a change, guys.
that you think happened with the president tonight? Is that why he kept interrupting Joe Biden
Yep.
and also trying to steamroll the moderator?
Exactly.
No, I think it's because Donald Trump is a fighter. He's been fighting for the
Get the fuck out of here. Trump's a fighter.
And hence, I mean, I know personally, right? I mean, you know well that I did 30 hours of testimony for doing a fraction of what say, Hunter Biden did. Now there's an actual link to Russia. There's an actual link to Vladimir Putin to the tune of $3.5 million to the Biden family. And I think when my father looks at what...
Talking about that. Why not talk about the policies for the American people? People are hurting because
And it starts with the man in the mirror, Haneke.
why not talk about the plan for that? No, but I mean, how to help people? How do you help people?
Why would it happen to one side, but it's totally ignored by the other? So I think you have to put that into perspective. Donald Trump, you talk about racism tonight. That was a big topic. Donald Trump did prison reform. Donald Trump created opportunity zones. Donald Trump did the first step back. Why didn't Joe Biden do it? I mean, he just got
Fuck you, fucking shield.
7 years. I mean, I would have thought that if he really cared about the issue, that as the vice president to the first African-American president, he would have done it, but he won't, because he wants to pay.
Yeah, it was funny. Yesterday I was in the restroom, Nikki.
So when I look at my father,
I'm talking personally to my brother right now, viewers. But Nikki, yesterday I was in the restroom and I was getting ready for work. The shit was crazy. And we have three or four lights across the restroom, like as the lights, and
your father told him tonight this.
And
stand down and stand by.
only one of the lights has always turned on. Like I noticed, like it's only been one on.
What is that?
I don't know.
And like I was in the restroom yesterday getting ready for work, and fucking out of nowhere the last light, the middle light turned on and shit.
That was a misspoke, but he was talking about having them stand down. He's more than happy to condemn that. Joe Biden is continually able to talk about the Charlottesville hoax. Take a fragment of a...
And then it was funny. Oh, well, it's not funny, but I was actually reading a Bible the other day.
It's true. And anyone...
The Chrysanthemums, are they real people? I was fucking reading that Bible the other day at work because somebody left it there. And like I got confused. Like it's weird. Like the wording is weird. Like I was reading it and it was saying like, oh, Joseph begat Noah and this and that. And like it would have been nice like if there would have been like a dictionary on there, like saying like what begat was. I eventually figured it out. It meant gave birth to or fathered, basically.
If Joe Biden would have fixed anything, Gail, by now he would have done it. He would have done it. You don't wait 50 years to start. But again, when you have a mainstream
on that ridge, bitch.
your boosters and your natural...
And then I was like, I was gonna continue reading it, but I was like, why am I reading a Bible that you just left here?
Thank you so much.
And I could read the Bible my broski gave me, you know? So I'm gonna read your Bible now.
American people think, one, this debate, and also in the interest of fairness, the Republican side provided Donald Trump Jr., the Democratic side provided the Democratic vice presidential candidate Kamala Harris. We'll speak with her right after the break.
I'm looking for my client. I'm his accountant.
I'm so sorry.
Hey, man! You're here!
You don't trust me in your Vegas, do you?
Well, I thought we had a breakthrough with Volkswagen.
We did.
Yes, we broke through. That's the Volkswagen?
That's the cross sport.
Wow.
Seatbelts.
Just tell me where we're going.
Reposting our posts isn't a vote. Voting is.
It's like
Bitch.
history textbooks about generations being so dumb and lazy that we can't go vote.
Seeing other family members not as passionate as definitely giving me a drive. You don't have to be pro this person, pro this party, pro that.
Yeah, you don't have to be pro anything or even if you do support Trump, I mean that's your political right to vote whoever you want to. I would never criticize anyone for who they vote for or what party they stand for, because that is your right as an American to have. It's like me and my broski, we worked at the fair with these two guys, and it was funny, we were setting up one year, and the guy that we were talking to that we were helping set up, that we worked for, we started talking about politics for some reason, and we're all like, oh yeah, Trump this and that, and fucking, he's like, yeah, I don't agree with Trump. And then like I told, like a second later after he said that, I was like, I mean, to each his own. I mean, you're entitled to your own political view and this and that, my whole spiel. And then like out of nowhere, he's like, but I do support some of Trump's things. I was like, fucking guy, I was like, dude, if you support him, support him. I mean, don't be embarrassed or fucking scared to say who you support, you know? I mean, I honestly can say I don't know if I support Biden. I mean, he's fucking old, like, he's old, man, like, right now when I was watching him on the debate, he didn't look too well, like, he looked okay, but, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, you don't have to agree with every policy that they bring out, or agree with everything that they say, but, I mean, as long as you go out there and make your vote count, I think that's what really matters. That's what the American standard should be, you know?
We're live. I don't really know how.
Prop 21 repeals legal protections for homeowners like me.
This is a lie being told by corporate interests to protect their profits. Prop 21 limits housing costs and prevents homelessness while protecting single-family
That's dope.
homes. Vote yes on Prop 21.
What happens when we break Prop 13 and raise property taxes $11 billion?
I always wish for you guys to be taken care of.
Businesses get saddled with big tax bills. They
My life, to me.
forced to cut jobs.
Who are you gonna make me cry, Nikki? You better stop, way.
That means we pay more
I don't want to cry on my stream, way. People are gonna think I'm not cool no more.
utilities and healthcare, and the cost of living in California gets even more expensive. Now is the wrong time to raise taxes on Californians. Vote no on Prop 15.
We've seen a lot lately. Hugs, smiles, lip reading. So let's not miss this. A big part of what makes us human.
That's dope. I fucking pray for my homegirl. Fucking, I prayed for her the other day.
Coachella Valley has
Her mom had like some kind of tumor, I guess. And they removed it. They had surgery to remove it and shit. And everything went well with the surgery, but like unfortunately, like her mom didn't fucking wake up, yo. Like her mom didn't end up waking up after the surgery, and they basically told her that she's in a coma way. And it's fucked up. And I mean, I would hate that I would hate to see that to anyone, you know. Especially my friend. I consider her a friend for sure. Like I would hate anyone to lose their mom in such a terrible way. So I sat down and I closed my eyes and I prayed for her. So hopefully something good happens for her.
Welcome back to CBS News coverage of the first presidential debate. Joining us now is Senator Kamala Harris of California from her alma mater, Howard University. Senator, good to see you. Do you think this debate served the American people well?
No, because it's fucking bullshit.
The American people deserve to have an ability to compare and contrast the candidates. And
Exactly.
I think tonight provided a very clear contrast. On the one hand, you've
Alright.
Joe
Oh shit, I don't even know her name.
to the camera, who
I just call her Alice's mom, way.
continuously, who understood who was important on that stage, which is American families.
But I'll get it for you, for sure. For sure, I'll get it for you.
They really, I think, really denigrated the office of the President of the United States, much as he has done over the course of the last 4 years.
Senator, you talked about the former vice president looking right into the camera, but his answer on court packing, adding more justices to the court, just sounds like a straight up dodge. Why won't he talk about what he wants to do, what he thinks should happen?
Because he doesn't know.
He's very clear, John, which is that he is focused, as we all should be, on the next 35 days, and he is focused on, one, the process by which we're even having the conversation about the United States Supreme Court. We all just honored, and I was there while the great Ruth Bader Ginsburg was lying in state, the first woman ever, and now we see that the president and the Senate Majority Leader are pushing through a nominee while Americans are voting. We're not even talking about a debate as has occurred in the past about election year. We're talking about literally during an election, almost 1 million people have voted, and they're trying to ram this nominee through, clearly for political purposes. So I think Joe is right to require the discussion to be focused on what is actually happening right now, and the unfairness of it, and the hypocrisy.
Instead of dodging the fucking answer and dodging the fucking point.
Senator Kamala Harris, we're out of time, but thank you for joining us tonight, and we look forward to speaking with you again. Coming up next, won the debate. We'll have the results from our CBS News Instant Poll.
Jeff Golby, well, thanks to me. Everybody's talking about it. This was not espionage. It was an attack. The most anticipated series is finally here. A blockbuster drama.
Oh, did I kill him? Oh shit! Oh, I didn't kill him. I didn't think I did.
The FBI, Sir Jones's inspired casting. Gleason delivers a star turn as drama. Don't miss the most important drama of this election year. The Showtime.
Nah, I killed him.
Hey there, Robert Larson here. You know, with SimpliSafe, you get comprehensive, professionally monitored home security without having to leave your house or have anyone to come install it. You simply order it online, it gets delivered to your door, then you can set it up yourself in just a few minutes. Imagine that.
Alright, boom.
Expert.
also need to keep a close eye on.
Hey, good morning. Your house brought you together. Like, really together. And although together is great, together with more space is better. With Rocket Mortgage, you get personalized loan options, closing costs, and tax estimates all in real time. So when you need to know what it takes for a home to fit your budget and your family, Rocket can.
Well, we've got some instant analysis, so let's bring in Anthony Salvanto, our elections and surveys director. And Anthony, the moment we've been waiting for, what have you learned?
Hey, Nora, instant poll of viewers across the country. Look at this big number. The tone of the debate, 83% thought it was negative. As for who won, we asked that, and it looks like the vote coming in, 48-41 in favor of Joe Biden. That's because most people came in having already made up their minds. But look at this, Nora. How did the debate make you feel? 69% annoyed, way outpacing the
Fuck yeah, annoyed.
that it made them feel informed. Nora?
Anthony, thank you. Yeah, many people were watching this debate with a pit in their stomach. At 2 times, I think, Vice President Joe Biden called the president a clown and said, "Will you just shut up?" Did this really,
funny.
this question serve the voter in terms of a real policy discussion about the issues? And
No, because Trump will fucking give you the runaround.
I don't know. I mean, no, I don't think it served the voters.
Any
in the sense
deal,
that it
yeah.
was, the president was constantly interrupting, and then it got into this bicker fest. The 17% who said they felt informed are very optimistic because I'm surprised the number's that high. Part of the job of the president is to explain
Because I wasn't informed at all, Bill.
and why Americans should follow them and why there is hope for the future. And we didn't get that.
But Gail, did Biden come more prepared in some ways? I mean, he said this is not about my family or his family.
Exactly.
It's about your family to the American people.
I thought when he talked into the camera, he was very effective. He did try to keep
I did
things
like
on
that.
track. He did try
Felt
to
like he was
say
talking to me.
exactly what he wanted to say.
To Biden.
I thought he made a connection with the American people. I thought that was important to do tonight.
And I think your point earlier, which was to the extent there's a long
Yeah,
fight on
motherfucker,
healthcare,
I know
that
you're here.
benefits Joe Biden.
All right, our coverage of the presidential debate will continue on our 24-hour streaming network, CBSN, and there will be more on your local news on this CBS station and tomorrow on CBS This Morning. For Gail King and John Dickerson, I'm Nora O'Donnell, CBS News, Washington.
I can't wait to find out what we just wrote. This is going to be really exciting. What happens when we break Prop 13 and raise property taxes $11 billion a year? Small businesses get saddled with big tax bills they can't pay. They're forced to cut jobs or pass on higher costs to consumers. That means we pay more for everything, like gas, food,
Ay,
utilities,
Nikki.
and healthcare. And the cost of
I'm in the middle of a good one.
more expensive. Now is the wrong time to raise taxes on Californians. Vote no on Prop 15.
Prop 21 is good for California.
Keep families in their homes. Vote.
In this ad for Prop 21, this guy's not even a veteran. He's an actor trying to trick you, and it's sickening. Just like Prop 21, pretending to be something it isn't. California veterans oppose 21 because it makes the housing crisis worse, with no plan to build affordable housing or help bring homeless vets off our streets. Stand with the men and women who actually wore our country's uniform. No on 21.
My team investigator Peter Dowd discovers how Imperial County has been impacted by the pandemic,
It's very alarming.
uncovering why their hospitals are so overwhelmed with patients.
It's exhausting, it's asking, and it's not easy.
The I-Team shows you why officials say they're severely impacted and how our entire county is affected.
To see this and all our I-Team investigations, click
Good.
to KESU.com. And keep
Yeah,
watching
dog.
this channel
Yeah.
for the desert
Get outta here.
leader.
Email I-Team investigator Peter Dowd your story tip.
We go together.
Previously on Love Island.
There's a fucking car.
The new kids on the block.
Oh god, your girl's just not gonna hurt
For anything.
I'm gonna find your dad, don't worry.
What child play?
No!
Oh my gosh, you're right, sweetheart.
Why is that baby crying? Where's your dad?
Ben.
The couple we think that is least compatible is
In the final dumping.
Bennett and Lincoln.
Lincoln and Bennett.
It was goodbye, Lincoln and Bennett. And hello, final four couple. On ice. Unforgettable dates.
We're never gonna be able to top this.
To be here with you now is everything. It feels like you're like this part of me that I was just like meant to meet.
I knew I liked you. I just didn't know how twice.
And you vote for who wins Love Island. Welcome back to Love Island, where BFFs Justine and Sally live to BFF another day after eliminating non-FFs Bennett and Lincoln.
How are you feeling though after all of that? I know Lincoln and I got to know Bennett, and I just like seeing them together and with Carrington and Laurel. I feel like Carrington still has those doubts, but Caleb speaks to Carrington every day, so he had a different perspective. Yeah, I stand by the decision we made because Caleb did make a lot of good points. You know, even with that, it's still gonna make it easier. And I think it is beautiful that Laurel is bringing out this different side of him, but is that gonna withstand the real world when we're back and thrown into reality? Another thought process in my head was, well, maybe these last couple of days will allow Carrington to get on Laurel's level. Maybe that's what we've given to them, and maybe that'll be the little push that they need.
Now to Moira and Calvin. He's using the Panini Press, which is coincidentally the name of my monthly newsletter.
First and foremost, we're going to slap each piece. Oh, you hear that, Moira? You know what that sound is?
What is that?
Back here. This is where the magic happens. You're going to choose whichever kind of cheese you want.
Which one did we choose
We
tonight?
chose a finely shredded Mexican blend. The key to an excellent grilled cheese not only is the cheese inside, but you need to paint the canvas of the bread to really just accentuate the flavors of the cheese.
Accentuate the flavor.
You already know.
I don't get paid by CBS to watch their shit. CNN paid me to watch theirs today, so that's why I watched the debate. Get the fuck out of here. I'm a sponsor now. Oh, somebody's here. He's on the roof, huh? Shit. Oh, fuck! I don't know. Damn it. Scared the shit out of me. Woo. Alright, let's go, Nico. Ooh, what a game. Gotta